Welcome back, everybody. This is the part 2 of my interview with the ZEPP Health CFO, Leon Deng. And I recorded this session during my stay in Beijing earlier this year. If you're new to this channel, you may not have heard about ZEPP Health before. It's a very small company. They're running brands like Amazfit. So this is in the wearables industry. I think in total, so why I'm interested in this company is the area of healthcare. So ZEPP Health is more than just a wearables producer. And I think there's opportunity when AI comes together with healthcare in the future. I know this sector is currently, out of real love by the investors, should we say like this. Anyways, this is an interview that is more than 1 hour in total. If you want to see it in full, then go to my Patreon, patreon.com/dongxi. I'll have it also in the comment section. This is how you can support this channel, but also how you get exclusive content from time to time. And in this case, this interview in total length, I'm going to post also the whole interview bit by bit. So this is the second part now. And for the patrons, I've also done, I think by now it's 2 more videos in addition to, this interview now is only basically, the uncut version, but I've also done my commentary around like what did I experience when I visited the headquarters, and also covering the company still from time to time with the earnings and like the business case and stuff like that. So all of this can be found on my Patreon, but of course I will also give you the full interview bit by bit here with these series here. And this is now part 2. Enjoy it and let's go. Yeah, would you say the company, when you have to describe it, is it more like a startup company, or is it more an already, let's say, a small to medium-sized business company, like a more traditional company? I think one part of it is like the working environment. Is it like chaotic or innovative, or like how would you describe it? And the other one is like, of course, finance guy. And on the one hand side, you are in early stages of some of the revenue streams, I would say. But on the other hand, you also have not a startup finance problem where you need to, for example, reach out to the capital markets in order to get funded, right? It's not idea stage. It's a real product, right?
Correct.
So how would you describe? Is it more startup or more company that is already established?
I think a good way in describing it is probably call it a scale up, right? What I like the company here is everybody still has a startup mentality here, right? And then if you look at our office area, and I think later on we'll probably take a few videos around it. It's very much a cooperative working environment whereby we don't have a fixed workplace for everybody. It's like those call center or whatever you can picture in a China office, how it should be looking like. It's very much in line with a European or US kind of startup office layout, right? You have collaboration places, you have flexible workplaces, you have flexible hours, and everybody's working very hard. Right? And the pace is very fast, I can tell you. Compared with working in Europe, conglomerate, Philips, I mean, the 9 to 5 type of thing, and then every single decision that you have to write a white paper, red paper, or whatever and later on you have to go through a different type of approval process. Here it can go very fast. From a promotion campaign, if we want to trigger it, from the ideation until we trigger it, probably can in 24 hours you can turn it around, right? So I think I like the culture. I like how the way things are being made here, and then I do think this is actually a good working environment and a good speed for us to actually conquer our competitors in the future.
Speaking of the future, maybe. Well, we all know this is a transition period, but I think I've already stated on my channel my personal vision, philosophy, why I like healthcare as a sector, first of all, but second of all, why I think ZEPP is interestingly positioned there, but maybe we can talk a bit more concrete about coming self-sufficient. For me personally, one major concern that I had was that can you actually scale your, for example, the Amazfit products without having overly to rely on marketing as on the unit economics. Maybe can you say something about your experience there in terms of how did it match your expectations versus how it's going right now?
It has been a journey as well. So I think in the past 2 years, what you notice is that our self-brand, Amazfit branded products is actually getting a lot of tractions in different parts of the world, right? For those you don't know, I think you can see us as a Fitbit or Garmin competitor, right? And our Amazfit brand is lined up in 3 big categories. One is we call it the youth line, and then most of the people, when you see the products is with a mini bib, that type of products, they are actually belongs to the youth line, right? And then we have the middle range, which we use to compete against Apple and Samsung Galaxy Watch, which is called Amazfit GT range, right? And this range is actually our range, which we try to target a price point between $100 to $250 range for the watch. And then we have top of the line, which is the so-called sports and outdoor series. That series is actually, we use T-Rex because it's actually quite a strong animal, right? Maybe animal is not the right word, but we use T-Rex and we use such a name to characterize it as the so-called Garmin competitor, right? And also the Apple Watch Ultra falls into that category, right? So basically, on each and every functionality and each and every price points, we have different products to cover it, right? And also, we're not specifically bonded to one OS or the other. So in essence, Samsung Galaxy Watch from Galaxy Watch 4, if I recall correctly, onwards, they are only able to use it with Android Watch, if I remember clearly. And I think that's going to be the trend for the Galaxy Watch for Samsung going forward. And then Apple, you can only use it with iOS, right? But our watch you can use on both operating systems with the similar type of experiences as you experience with a native Samsung or native Apple Watch, right? While at a lower price point and at a better battery life. I mean, our watch obviously lasts for more than 14 days of usage if you use it in a very heavy way, right? So I think we have all these different product lines covering different needs, and we see this part is actually developing very well. So, for example, these watches, Amazfit watches, actually, if you look at the revenue for 2022, half of that comes out of Europe, right? And then you may not know it, Spain, Italy, actually we have a market share which is on par or bigger than Apple Watch, right? How we achieve that, I think we kind of used an approach whereby we use our product. We actually really have focused a lot of R&D resources on the user experience of the watch, of the OS, to actually try to give the consumers the best user experience they could experience with our watch, right? So we focus very much on the consumer feedback and consumer experiences, and also applying all the latest technologies, for example, ChatGPT, et cetera, into the watch so that it's getting smarter, but just not a dumb watch, right? So I think that's one thing is to improve the quality of the watch and the consumer appearance of the watch. And then on the second thing is we actually try to use digital marketing. And for example, we use YouTube with you. We use Instagram, we use Facebook to promote our products. And also we try to establish a community of our users so that they are very much engaged, and they are going to constantly updating and using our watch if they ever consider to buy a new watch.
Where would you say, what's the status quo of, compared to what is your target, what you envision, like for example the engagement of the community or the status of marketing? Do you say this is also still in the very beginning, or would you say you already have found like the metrics where it makes sense to invest more, for example, in let's say Instagram ads? Who knows?
I think we're much advanced than a lot of the Chinese tech companies who wanted to go overseas.